Hey guys, welcome back. It's mid-April, spring is upon us, grass is growing, and mowers are not starting. This is not the first time I've seen this mower. This one was featured in a video last year. Basically, somebody overfilled it with oil and the engine locked up. Put a link to it up in the upper right hand corner of the video so you can look at that, see the history on this mower. And this year, the guy calls me and he already knows he did something wrong. He basically said he put gas in it that he got last year, but realized after he put it in that there was water in the gas. He tried to drain the tank, but it was too late. Water in gas sinks to the bottom. It will sink to the bottom of the tank and go right into the carburetor and fill up the bowl. So basically you have to drain the entire fuel system, rinse it out, put it back together, and then it should start right up. And in this video I will show you how to do that. So the first thing to do is we've got to get the gas tank and the carburetor off, and on this style engine that's easy to do. It's just a couple of screws and the whole assembly, gas tank and carburetor, will come off. You don't even have to disconnect any fuel lines. So let me get some tools and let's get started. I think there's a little latch in there. I don't think there's another screw. It's just a latch. Latch right there. You got to get in there with a screwdriver and kind of poke it so you can get it out of the unlatched from the cover. Alright, first thing we do is remove the really dirty air filter, and then we have a series of screws in here. If I recall correctly, they are different sizes. I think one is 7 millimeter, and the other one is like 5/16. Mix of standard and metric, of course. Because of course you can't have the same size. Yeah, that's 7. And these are, yeah, they are 5/16. All right. Once you have all of these off, this cover should come right off like that. And I see gas in there. Now let's see, we are going to, at this point, we're going to pull the tank off. And those are just, yeah, this is going to have to come off as well. I turned the mower around, put it in the sun. I don't know whether that's going to hurt or help us in terms of the light situation, but in any case, the gas tank, once you have the recoil out of the way, it's got these plastic clips that just go over the metal tin here. And you can just pull those up and that will release the gas tank. And the whole assembly will can come out all at once. Essentially you can pull the carburetor like that. That will release, pop the carburetor off, and wiggle the gas tank out, and that's free. Now you're free to work on these connections. So the governor connection, choke connection. Let's see if we can get that out first. we go. Governor connection just like that. So we can get the whole assembly out all as one. You can already see in there there's some froth. That's water. See that? That's water, so definitely have water in the tank. Push these back, clean this up, clean this surface up. Get some of the goop and dust off. That. Alright, what do I want to do? Let's drain whatever is left in the tank and see how much water we actually have. For you guys at home when this happens, this really shouldn't take you more than about 10-15 minutes to do. You need only very basic tools. Let's just let it, okay, so I don't know if you can see that in the sun or not. It's very cloudy. That means it has water in it. We'll let that sit and see how much water actually settles out of it. The water will always go to the bottom. So I'm gonna take the tank and the carburetor, I'm gonna separate them here. So basically what I'm gonna do, I clamp the fuel hose off. Maybe I wanna do that a different way. This is kind of hard. I'm trying to show you at the same time. Do that. Wrong kind of pliers. Do that. Take that, and then we should be able to here. It's gonna splash everywhere, isn't it? There we go. Take the carburetor off, and now I'm gonna undo the clamp and let the rest of the fuel drain out of here. I let it for a little bit, a minute or two. You can see the water down there. See that? The water always goes to the bottom, so it'll form like a bubble on the bottom. So yeah, he was right. It's got water in it. So we want to get all the water out of the tank as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clamp off the hose again. And I'm going to put just a little bit of fresh gasoline in. Just enough. Put the cap on. And kind of swish that around. And then I will let that drain back out. So then I'm going to undo the clamp and let that drain out. You can do that 1 or 2 times. That should be sufficient to get all the water out and cleanse the tank. You can really see the water now. As far as getting the water out of the carburetor, so this mower ran. He actually cut the lawn with it, with the gas that was in it, which was fine, and then he put spoiled gas in it with water, then it wouldn't start. So this carburetor was fine before it ran, it just got water in it. So it doesn't need a full carburetor clean, but this would be a good time to do that, especially if you're having other run issues. If you're not sure whether it ran, if it didn't run this season at all, probably needs a carb clean. I will put a link up in the upper right hand corner on how to clean these carburetors. It's pretty simple. But since this one doesn't need a clean, all we're going to do, this is a 10 millimeter drain plug at the bottom. So I'm going to pull that out and get all the water out. So that definitely looks like water, the bottom of this carburetor. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this back together with the fuel tank. The fuel tank is clean. I'm going to put this back together, put the fuel line back on, put some gas in it, and then just let it run through with this plug out. And that should flush the carburetor system, the whole carburetor out, and there shouldn't be any water left in it. So let me go get that, and we'll do that here on the bench. All right, got my fuel tank stick this back on, shove this back in, like that, and let's I don't have a better pliers for this, but we'll stick that back there like that. And then I will, let's see, let me clamp off fuel line. Don't make a mess, like that. Clamped off. I'm going to put some gas in it. Don't need too much. The carburetor is not very big. So just like that. That'll do. And then I'm going to unclamp this and hold the carburetor upright, and fuel should come out of that drain plug at the bottom. There we go. Now we can put this plug back in. Try not to get any crap in there. There we go. Oop. Getting chewed up. Squash that in. There we go. Good. Just like that. And we are pretty much good to go. And as you can see, there was a lot of water in the carburetor. See all the water? All the water goes to the bottom. So even though there is water in the tank, there is even more in the carburetor because water sinks to the bottom of gasoline and the bowl of the carburetor is the lowest point. At this point, it's all ready to get put back together. And I know what some of you are thinking. Why not? Why go to the bother of taking all of this apart when I could just take the plug out of the bottom of the carburetor and let all of the water flush through? Well, you can do that and it may run, but the problem is you're never going to get all of the water out of the tank. There's always going to be a little bit left in there, and as the mower runs and vibrates, it's gonna, the water is gonna make its way into the bottom of the carburetor and it's gonna stall again. So my suggestion is don't do that. Take the tank off, take everything apart, and clean it properly. Alright, it should be good. Usually there's a snap. I'll feel that. Let's try putting this O-ring into carb. That. There we go. There is that snap. Good. Let's pull this gas tank on. Excellent. Perfect. All the linkages is free. Governor is free. Everything's free. Perfect. Those last two, plastic in plastic. I'm not going to drive it home with the impact gun because that would be not good. Need a different socket. Alright, good. Let's put some gas in it and fire it up. Here we go. Cold start, first start. Maybe some residual water in there. I'm gonna go get some starter fluid or a shot of 2-cycle engine oil, shoot it in there, see if it'll turn over, pop over. Oh, too much. Flooded it. Good. I'll run in a little bit more, wait for the smoke to clear. I flooded it. It was 2-cycle gas that I put in there with oil, and I put way too much in there. So I'll let it run, and the smoke will clear up, and then I think we'll be good to go. I'll replace the air filter, and that'll be that. All buttoned up. Air filter in, cover back on. See if it'll start. Runs good. So that's a wrap. I may do a little bit more maintenance, clean it, wipe it down a little bit, oil the wheels, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's how you get water out of your gas tank and carburetor on one of these Briggs and Stratton, these newer style overhead valve engines. So with that, thank you for joining me on this one, and if you like these videos, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.